Welcome. This is Beata Gillette, and we are talking today about authority signature systems and how to really build a business where you have a system where you can sell more and more often. So the objective of this call today is to help you understand about things that people really don't tell you in the internet marketing space, and what some of the challenges are that we are facing as entrepreneurs building our business. A lot of times when we are building our business, we are discovering that there is something that we need to do, and we know we're missing something and we don't know what it is. So we are going out into the market. We are looking at the different types of things that people are offering. We see something and then we buy it, and we invest in it, only to find out that that thing then is followed by an affiliate marketing offer for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So we are going to explain in this webinar today on how you can use the things that you've already invested in and build this signature growth system with different entry points, so it makes sense for people to come to you as the go-to authority in the market. So the idea about internet marketing, or about many of the big guys out there, and I'm sure you've encountered many, is that no matter what, there's always something missing. So we are going to look at this from a perspective of how can you take what you have, and what of these things do you already need, and how does it fit in? So the overall explanation of what is a system is that you look at everything that you have, and it's nicely organized in packaged step by step into a client transformation journey. So you already have, the pieces. So everybody I work with, generally speaking, has already all the pieces in place, but they have to be organized in the right order. The second objective of a system is that when you look at it from the perspective, and we just literally had a call where we talked to somebody who said that financial institutions are her clients, and insurance is her clients, and companies are her clients, so that there are so many different entry points with different needs of people, but you can fulfill all of these different needs. So that means you need to have different entry points, different value propositions, and you need to have an overall client transformation journey where people are going through step by step by step by step by step. Okay. Now, the only way to do that is to have a signature growth system. People call it a method, people call it a proprietary system, people call it, all kinds of different things. We call it the signature growth system, and it explains what you do. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I don't even touch anything. Sorry about that. Zoom and PowerPoint are very fickle. I have noticed that. So I apologize if that keeps happening. Doing my best. Number 4 objective is the client transformation needs to be outlined over the series of problems that the client has over a period of time. So in authority building, we know that clients have problems being the authority on the subject, because when you go to the website or social media, you don't look like an authority. So that needs to be fixed. We know in authority that if you don't have a client attraction system and people are coming to you consistently, and you have this lead generation system in place, that needs to be fixed. We know that to build authority, you have to have your signature growth system in place, which is what we're going to talk about today. We know that in order to really build your authority and make the sales and do all that, now you need to really have that strategy in place. How do I convert them? What are my sales scripts? What do I say? So that it's like a nicely run machine. So your business, and I want you to think about this now. What would it look like for you? And please do put this in the chat because I want to hear from you. What would it mean for you if you had a system that makes you the go-to undisputed authority in your field? What would that look like for you? Would you have more clients? Would you have more money? Could you go on better vacations? Could you be not so stressed out? Could you hire the right team? Tell me, what will it look like for you if you have authority in your industry? Because that's what you're here. So I want to hear from you what authority means to you. So go ahead, please put that in the chat. And while you do that, I'm going to go over here and now I'm going to change my next slide. So yeah, so go ahead, please put it in the chats. You know, this is interactive. This is not me just talking. I want to hear from you. I'm doing this for you. And it's important that I understand where you're coming from. So I can hear, you know, I can hear and interact with you. That would be absolutely amazing. So what is authority for you? And what would you do if you would be the authority in your category? So I'm going to give you an example of what this looks like in action. So this is Emmanuel Ellier, and we created Ellier systems for him. His idea was he wanted to be going out on his own. He wanted to be, he had a family business, and family businesses get kind of very confusing, and he wanted more. And he wanted his system that clarified what he did, what he was selling, and to whom. And I actually talked to him a couple months ago, like I want to say 2-3 months ago. And in the meantime, he has generated over 20 million for his clients. He's doing phenomenal, and he is continuing to scale up further. If you look at Emmanuel from in the beginning, you would say that he was somebody who was a digital marketer. But when we created the system, we gave him a unique value proposition that was so much better that resulted in him doing this. And now today, just 3 years after we've done this, he's not even doing the work by himself. He's got a global team of 12. Here's Terry Ross. When Terry Ross and I met, she had nothing. She had an idea. That's it. And she didn't have a cohesive offer. It was just like a coaching for med spas. So we literally designed the offer from the ground up in her signature system, divided into pieces so she could offer different parts. In 24 months, she was billing $600,000. Now she took the system and built a SaaS company, increasing revenue even more. And she secured investors that are helping her build this. And for some reason, she's always in some sort of 5-star tropical resort and on vacation. And, you know, she sends me all of her friends. So I'm going to look in the chat. Thank you so much, Shannon, that you, for responding what authority means for you. It would offer you freedom to be able to hire a team and to travel. That's exactly right. The system does that. The system is the only way to scale. So a system, who does a system work for? It works for entrepreneurs, service providers, coaches, and consultants, visionaries, and experts who have years of experience and expertise and want to offer it cohesively and succinctly. So question, are you considering yourself an expert in what you do? Do you know what you're doing? Just put a yes in the chat, because that is another important question. Where do you see yourself? Do you know in your heart that you're really good at what you do, and that you've done the work? You can offer these client transformation journeys. You do understand on how to make, you know, your clients work and clients happy. So how do you see yourself? Are you seeing yourself as an expert in the industry? Just put a yes in the chat. That would be awesome. The goal for this mastermind is that this masterclass is to help you to understand that the only way for you to scale your business is to create your own proprietary method. And the only way to sell more and sell more often is to have these different entry points and services in one consistent and repeatable client transformation journey. And the only way to free up your time and scale your business is to have other bench members or team members take over pieces of the delivery of your signature growth system. So write this down, because this is absolutely critical. And I'm just going to check the room really quick and see. Will you just tell me where you're calling in from, and maybe give me what you do, so I kind of know who's in the room. I know there's Jane Art Capital Funding, so I'm pretty sure I know what you do. You do due to finance. Mary, let me know what you're doing. Philippe, I think I know which Philippe this is, so tell me if it's the right one. And Shannon are here right at this very moment. Pardon me. Let's define what a client transformation journey is. A client transformation journey is when you have a clearly defined starting point and a clearly defined end result. And in the middle, they go through your secret sauce, through your product, your service, through your method. And then magically they are coming out and having a different outcome. So the important thing to understand is that the starting point is their level of understanding of where they are at, which may not necessarily be what the actual issue is. But all they know is that they want to achieve something, and then it is time to reverse engineer this to get to this particular point. So let's talk about how do I got to create these signature systems, or this idea of authority platform building. So I come originally from Germany. And you see here in the picture on the left, that's my mom, my grandmother, my brother, and my sister. And that is me on the right side here with my dad. And please pay special attention to it. I actually had a mullet, which I didn't even realize I had. And the objective of being a child in Germany is, of course, to follow the proven path. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. Is that there's a particular way that you do things, and you need to be a good girl and don't draw attention to yourself, and all of these good things on what makes a good citizen. And I always felt that I wasn't entirely fitting in, that there really was something else out there I needed to be doing. And I was a creative. In Germany, we take everything, just in case you don't know this, we take everything extremely seriously. So when I was doing my aptitude test, and I really was not the smart one in the family. So my brother and my sister were in the gymnasium. I was in the middle school. Just, not apparently not as smart as everybody else. And we going through this aptitude test, and I go through this aptitude test, and they keep telling me over and over and over again that, what do you like to do? Do you like being outside? Do you mind carrying stuff? Are you afraid of heights? And I'm like going through these 16 pages, and I'm making my check marks. And then the end of it, the result said that I should have been a roofer. Now, I don't have any issues with roofers. I think it's an honorable profession. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I wanted to be in the creative industries. And every time I mentioned that to the career counselor of being in the creative industry, she told me that she shot me down. She says, no, no. So I became a photographer anyway. So, go ahead, put it in the chat. Has that ever happened to you? That somebody told you to do something and you felt that didn't really resonate, that you felt that you were called to something much larger? Just put a yes in the chat and tell me if you can relate to that, because there is this, I always felt like this urge to do something that I didn't really even quite knew what it was, but I knew it was not being a secretary, right? So now I was a photographer, but found out pretty quickly that I was better at the business side than the creative side. That was a pretty hard realization. And then I went into the business side. I became a photo editor at Elle Magazine, and then immigrated to the United States because I wanted some adventure, and haven't left the United States since, and started working as a photography representative and a producer. And over a period of time, I was able to really, build a business, a $1 million business in sales, which is by, most entrepreneurs status, it puts me in the 4% of entrepreneurs. And I'm just checking the chat here. So JNR Capital Funding says, I've been shot down for everything I've done, but it never stopped me. Exactly. So you can exactly relate to what I'm talking about. Is like when other people tell you something, you just don't, it's not for you. That may be for other people, but you have a different plan. Thank you so much for that. And Shannon said that she is providing company training on personal coaching, communication, presentation skills. Yeah. So what I see is that you provide a number of different things that, you probably could benefit from a system that has a clearly defined outcome. So back to the story. So now what's happening? So over the course of a 10-year period, I now realize that I am falling into a trap of a really bad infinity loop. So every time I got ahead on something would happen and it'd throw me back. So it was a lawsuit, an employee that cheated me out of money with a key vendor that I sued. And then I'm in this lawsuit that's costing me all my money. Then I had, the earthquake, fires, floods, riots, and the hits just kind of kept coming. And every time I felt I had something figured out, something bigger would come and wipe me out again. And it was extremely tiring. And so in all of this, I thought that it kind of can't be, right? And I'm sure you can relate to it. And again, just participate in the chat. If there's something in here where you go, man, I mean, I had to take a couple of really hard knocks in life. Put it in. So I know you can relate to this, but you just keep on getting up, as JNR said, you just don't give up. You keep getting up, hoping that you're going to be figuring out this once and for all. And then something happened is that everything was settled and done, and I settled the lawsuit. September 11th just had wiped out my business. I had to literally start from scratch. Like I had nothing. The lawsuit settled. I paid my debt, and I literally had zero in the bank. I remember that moment. I'm going downtown to the flower mart to get the flowers for my attorney and the team that had, pushed me through this 1 year of hard fighting, and I had nothing. So I had to start all over again. So I started building up the stock photography syndication and for architectural and interior photography. And as a side result, we had a lot of the at-home stories. And I became very quickly somebody that people paid attention to, but I had no money. So I went really deep into debt. I was $135,000 in debt. I had a child. I was a single mom, a deadbeat ex-husband. And I couldn't figure out how I was going to make it work. I mean, it was against all odds. It was a fight for my life. It was a fight for survival. We were at poverty level. And then I fly to Germany because I'm like, it's so bad. I'm about to file bankruptcy. I have to drum up some business. So I meet my dad, and a day later, my dad had a stroke, and the hospital called us and told us that we needed to come in. So I was in Milan. So I returned from Milan. I came to him, and then we found out that he didn't have a stroke. He had pancreatic cancer, and he died six weeks later. So now I'm losing my best friend, my biggest supporter, my cheerleader, my support system. And I go, and we have the funeral. I bury my dad. My phone rings. It's my office in Los Angeles. The building had just been bought by a new landlord, and we've been served a notice. So now we were losing the place that we were living and working in. So I had like literally no money. So sometimes in life, you come to these defining moments of full surrender because there really isn't anything else to do. So I fell on my knees. I raised my fist. I yelled at God, and I said, if you have a plan, this would be a really, really, really good time. And then I surrendered because I had really done everything else. And then what happened is I got a letter from the White House when I returned. And Totally true story. And I had written a letter to the White House in my absolute desperation. And just because my former mother-in-law just wouldn't be quiet about it, write a letter to the president. He's your president. If anybody can help you, is the president. On and on and on and on and on she went. So I wrote that letter, and then I got the letter from the White House back. That put me in touch with the Small Business Administration. And now wait until you hear how this story changes on a dime. So it put me in touch with the Small Business Administration. They were able to find me a bank restructuring my $135,000, freeing up my line of credit, bringing me, giving me enough cash to get to break even. It was 3 months. That's how close we were. It was between filing bankruptcy and actually being profitable was 3 months. And then we turned profit after 3 months. We became the world leader in the category and sold into 79 countries. And that's when a Bill Gates company came knocking on the door and said, Beate, can you please tell us how you do it? And I said, absolutely not. You want to know how I do it? You need to buy it. They said, how much do you want? I said, millions. They said, okay. And that's how I turned the worst moment of my life into an opportunity. And so what I want to talk to you about now is to really get clear on sort of how these pieces now all connect. So here's some of the pictures, from when I was an LA producer. I look a little exhausted in this photo, but I just had casted, I think it was like 200 children for this very photo shoot over here. And, a great job. I just had so much fun, met so many great people. So here is how this relates to what we talk about: signature systems, selling more, authority building, and all of this. So I faced betrayal, lawsuit, earthquake, fires, riots, floods, 9/11, a tsunami, and now a pandemic. Who knew that I was going? It's pretty full repertoire. And if you had overcome any, if you have overcome any of these challenges, please put it in the chat. Let me know. It's like, yes, I can relate. I've had a lot to overcome. Or maybe you're going through something right now. Put it in the chat. Let us know. Have a conversation about where you are at with this, because it is tough. And so you see that suddenly, I'm award-winning. Here's the letter from the White House. I mean, it just kept, suddenly it just turned. So what did I learn? Lesson number 1, you cannot grow unless you scale. And you cannot scale unless you have a method. My lesson was very expensive. People knew I had something, but I hadn't articulated it right. It took a long time. So again, put it in the chat. Do you have something that you offer that where you go, yes, I had something to offer, but I don't see people really see me? And Shannon, thank you for sharing. You say I had major negative situations in my life. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, and on an internal level, I thought about, how can I build this so I can sell it? Because once you've gone through this and you know how difficult it is, you do want to create an equity event. I mean, that was by design. So I thought, that was the epiphany. If other people sell their business, it must be possible for me. So if it is possible, then I just have to figure out how. And that means I have to learn the skills and find mentors and teachers who already did what I'm trying to do. Because at the end of the day, let's be really honest here. It's 2 things you need: time and money. It just depends on what you value more. So here's a question that I'm going to ask you, and I really want you to answer that honestly. Did you come here to be mediocre? Or did you come here for excellence? Because surviving was not my goal. I wanted to be the expert. I want to be the authority. I want to be somebody where people said, she knows her shit. She's got it together. She's a badass. And I think a lot of times people settle for mediocrity because they're afraid to take risks or do what it takes to get there. And I have some comments here that I'm going to check. JNR says he's looking for excellence. He wants to be the best of the best. That's what I'm talking about. Because if I don't think anybody ever says, I wished I would have missed more opportunities. Everybody always says, I wished I would have taken care of it. So next question. If you knew, what do you think holds you back? Is it money? Is it time? Is it the skill set? Is it because it's you need to get out of your own way, the learning curve, or is it because you have bad experiences with internet marketers and you've already spent enough money out there? If you knew what holds you back, what would that be? And please just put it in the chat. I think it's really important that we work along. And if you don't want to put it in the chat, just think about it, maybe write it down privately and says, like, what is that that's holding you back? I'll tell you what I hear most of the time. It's money and time. Time, because you do a lot of other things that you're busy with, but they are not money generating activities, and money, because you're not doing these activities. You're in this constant loop of, I need to make money to afford what I need to do, but because you're not having the pieces in place, you never make the money, so you're constantly looping. That's typically what happens. So for authority platform building, this is really critical. You have to figure out how to create your own system that you can scale and sell. And when I did, I sold it. I remember when we went through the integration period and in the acquisition, and JNR, because he does funding, he might be able to relate to that, or has had some people around that have done this. There is a due diligence period. And you mean this is Bill Gates. So believe me, this was the biggest due diligence you'll ever see in your entire life. And in this particular piece, let me just see if I can I turned off. Thank you. In this particular piece, they came to me and then they said, this couldn't happen to anybody better than you. To me, to this day, it makes me emotional thinking about it, that because I didn't lie, I didn't cheat, I set it up, it was easy. We handed it over. They estimated that it was going to take us a year to integrate. Because of my systems, we integrated in 6 months. And I projected for them that they would get their money in my investment back within 3 years. And I mapped out the plan for them. That's how good my system was. And they made their money back in 3 years. So the transformation is make the decision, find your teacher, learn the skill, and then implement. It's really not very difficult. So it took me only like 10 years to make it happen. So let's talk about what not to do here. So this is really pet peeve of mine. If you think that anyone out there has that one thing, that is a lie. And maybe I should not say this because I talk about systems. Obviously, I'm in business, and I will share with you. So we are going to invite you to have a diagnosis call with us, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit. But there's no offer on this call, so we're not selling anything. So you can relax. You can just take the content in, work along, play along with it, because I want to build a relationship with you so that you can make informed decisions. I do not believe in internet marketing persuasion techniques. I believe in my job being helping you figure out what the missing link is. Then we can diagnose what that is, and then you make the decision on whether or not you're ready to go. Because I cannot want this more than you want it for yourself. You need to want this for yourself more than anything else. Other than that, it doesn't work. The right time. So In a recession we are in is that people want to wait. I'm going to give you a couple of examples for that on how waiting works. So you meet a fabulous, wonderful person. You wait or you ask him out. Your tooth hurts. You're going to wait or you're going to act on it. You are hungry. You're going to wait or you're going to act on it. So this waiting is a human concept that does not exist in nature, because in nature, things either are growing or they're dying. That's it. There's nothing in between. So if you're waiting, you effectively stop your business from growing. So do not, like, under no circumstances can you do that. Next mistake. If you think that you can figure out in, whatever the classic webinar promise, in only 1 hour, we will teach you how to, you're not going to figure out what it took somebody 20 years, 30 years. Like, I cannot give you all my knowledge in an hour. That's just preposterous, right? So be prepared that when you hear something that resonates with you, that you're going to have to do the work. That's just the way it is. Not having a signature growth system, I think, to me, the longer I do this and the more, the deeper I dive into it, I see the clients that have done this on how quickly they are moving forward with building their businesses and what a difference that makes in the language. And I'll give you some examples of the results that we've seen. It is mind-blowing, out of this world good. And, keep investing in stuff without having a strategy. I mean, I want everybody to make money and I believe in abundance, but if you are investing, make sure you have a strategy that investment actually fits in. So I have calculated this, that if people wait, don't take action, don't have these systems, oftentimes it takes them years to figure this out. My next question for you. What do you think that's been costing you not having figured out how to be the authority in your industry yet? What's it costing you? How many jobs are going to your competitors? How much money are you leaving on the table? How often have you been in a conversation where you say, I wished I could have closed that. That was perfect. I don't know why they didn't say yes. How often does it happen? What is the cost? Put it in the chat. If you don't want to put it in the chat, really think about this, because we are here. This is a master class. I'm helping you. My goal is to help you to figure out what is in your way so that we can figure out what that next step is to help you break through this next level. Because I will tell you one thing, this is the third recession I'm in. It takes everything you have. Opportunities are made in recessions, but you have to find them, and they're typically hiding in disguise. They don't sit there with an opportunity sign. They sit there and they look like an obstacle. That's where the opportunities are. So you have to retrain yourself to get out of this fear-based piece of, oh my God, this is happening, to like, what can I do right now? That's what we're talking about. And then not just is it costing you hard money, it is also costing you months, often years in time invested. If you were to guess, how long do you think you've been sitting on this and trying to figure this out on what is in your way to making more sales, attracting more clients, being that go-to authority? Frankly, sometimes it drives me personally crazy when I see some of my competitors, and I know they don't have the credibility. I know they haven't done what they said, but they took a fancy course and they got that internet marketing persuasive language down. And then they're signing clients, and then those clients come to me and says, oh my God, I just wasted all my money. And I'm going like, well, it's unethical, but I mean, it drives me crazy. There's so many people like this out there. And let's not forget what that does to your confidence. Once your confidence is gone, and once you start opening, in mindset work, there's like this piece between mindset and fear. Like when you open the door to fear, to doubt, right? When you doubt yourself, fear walks right behind it. And if you don't have the mindset, skill set, and action set, and the system in place that helps you to work yourself through it, it's going to be a tough call, because then you have to get yourself out of it, back into the right mindset, taking, learning the skills and then taking the actions that it takes, because it takes a lot of action. So a quick check with you. Does this make sense so far? Are you guys having some takeaways? So if would love to hear from you. If there's any takeaway you have, put it in the chat. Say, oh my God, that was good, or like that. So let's just checking in with you again. If you feel up to it, put it in the chat. If not, write it down for yourself, depending on what your personality type are and what you're comfortable with. Oh, thank you. JNR says, I'm amazing. I love to hear that. I'm honest. I don't have time for bullshit. I'm here to help. So let's talk about growth architecture, the thing that we've created with my team, and what works about it. So the strategy behind growth architecture is that let's keep it as simple as we possibly can. You need to uncover what the issue is, the diagnosis. Most of you have a lot of the pieces in place, but like a puzzle piece, they are like all over the place, but they're not properly connected. So we don't see the full picture. It's not working. So we need to figure out what's missing, what's the issue, where is the misalignment or the disconnect, or where there is something missing. Then we are starting to build your authority, because we have to get you out in front of people so that you build the credibility. So people say, you look the part. Shannon looks the part. JNR looks the part. That is a very deliberate action, because that's where people go first. The first thing they do is go to social media, check you out, and then they go to your website and they look at the About Us and the testimonial page. That's the first thing that they look at before they even look at anything else. So you have to look at like authority. Then you have to use that and build the client attraction system so that you have the steady stream of people coming in. You need the system, because if you don't know how to talk about it, how can you write about it? How can you explain to somebody what you do? And I work with a lot of experts, coaches, and consultants. And I will tell you, if anybody else says they're a life coach or a financial coach or an advisor or a strategist, that does not work right now. Why? Because guess what? People have been laid off. Hundreds of thousands of experts have been laid off that are now coaches, consultants, and experts. Putting their shingle out, at least it looks better than being unemployed. And now they're vying for a smaller pie. And what are they doing? They're driving the prices in the toilet. So you need to go out, establish your authority, have that system that you clearly can articulate why in this climate you can make it happen, and then have that strategy and boom, execute and implement on that strategy. Does that make sense? Put a yes in the chat if it does. If you can, JNR Capital Funding says he's driving. So I assume you're a man, but you might be a woman. So be careful though with the driving. I want you to be arriving wherever you go very safely. So that's it. It's very simple. There is only 4 pieces to this. Figure out what it is, build the authority, have a system, and have a strategy you consistently can execute and share with your team. And that's how you scale. So going forward, what are the 3 secrets to authority? Number 1, who doesn't want to get the recognition they deserve? My authority is I built and sold a business to Bill Gates. If I say this one sentence, I have every credibility and authority I could possibly ever want. So for you to build your authority, you need to stand out. if you haven't sold a business to Bill Gates, you've done something else. You're achieving some other thing. You are helping your clients to achieve something that will make you the authority. We just have to find this. Oh, Jay. Oh, Jay. Of course, my friend Jay's in the house. Excellent. I'm so glad you're back. All right. We had spoken before, so yes, I'm in the know. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming to this. This is like a really fun place to be. Yes, he says, absolutely. Number 2, building your system. That's secret number 2. You want to be the logical go-to expert and frankly, leave the competition behind, right? I mean, if it's between you and somebody else, you want somebody to come to you, not somebody else. And the strategy is the number 1 strategy that I use to turn my $135,000 in debt disaster to a multi-million-dollar equity event provided by Bill Gates. I mean, who would not want that? So secret number 1, authority. You need 2 pieces, verifiable authority and the client attraction machine. We have business growth advisors on this call. So if this is you and something resonates, I want you to put the word advisor in the call, and then they'll reach out to you and they'll schedule a diagnosis call. So there's 2 pieces we do. It's authority platform booster and the elite client attraction system. This is what comes, this is one of the foundational pieces to be known as the authority. The secret number 2, the system, is, which I'm going to dive into a little bit deeper, but I just wanted to give you a couple pointers of overview. And then secret number 3 is the strategy. To scale your impact, you need a strategy on how to get there and with whom. This is the growth blueprint that you need for your business. This particular part, the growth strategy, that is by application only. Again, if you are interested in talking about any of this, just put the word advisor in the chat, and then we will be reaching out and scheduling a call. But we also have a link for you in a little bit for you to do that on the spot as well. So here is another one of those questions that I want you to answer either, in the chat or privately, and write this down for yourself. How many different things have you tried to grow your business over the last couple of years? 1 strategy, 2 strategy, 10? Just spoke to somebody yesterday who told me that he was yet in another strategy, and that he was going to create this unbelievably complicated funnel. And I looked at it and I shook my head and I'm like, didn't you just decide that you were going to do something? And he's already on to the next. So you want to stop throwing spaghetti at the wall. So Jay said that he has countless, many different things that he's tried over the last couple of years. The step number 2 is like, who has been attracted to your solutions? Now, here's an interesting piece for you to look into. Is what you're putting out actually attracting the client quality that you desire? Or is the client you are looking for, or that's attracted to you, not your ideal client? Because if there's a mismatch in who you attract and who you want to serve, that typically is because there's a language mismatch. So then the system is not clear on who it's helping. So you have to be very careful about that. Next question. How many new clients? And again, write this down. There's a master class. This is interactive. This is here to help you to figure this out, to break you through this next barrier. We are in a recession. I mean, guaranteed. Budgets are going to be tight. People are vying for these jobs. You want to be engaged and figure out what you need to do to have a strategy for the next 2 years to get through this. How many people have given you money to solve their problems in the last, let's say, 6 months? And the hard question, how much money did you leave on the table? Because you didn't have the system in place or any of the pieces that we just talked about, or you were waiting. So let's talk about who a signature system works for. Designers, marketers, business consultants, life coaches, podcasters, speakers, executive coaches, service providers, experts, financial advisors, realtors, investment firms, learning and development companies, educators, tutors, SaaS companies. These are all people that we have served and helped to build these systems. So there's one problem most don't understand about having a signature growth system. Clients don't know what the problem is. I remember this when I did a class a couple years ago. I had somebody say to me, Beate, just tell me how I can find new clients. I don't need you to teach me anything about marketing, anything about sales, or anything else, or anything about building a business. I just need you to tell me how to find clients. And I said, well, he thinks his problem is that he can't find clients, but his problem was that finding clients was the result of all the other things he didn't do. Client attraction, building the authority, having a system, consistent language, telling people with clarity what it was all about. So very much like this, your clients often just don't even know what the real problem is. So, but what they do want is they want their pain to go away very quickly. So this is from an acupuncturist that I saw. He said to me, when they go to acupuncture school, they teach him the most important thing: make the pain go away first, and then find the real problem. Your solution needs to make the pain go away first, and then find the real problem, so that you put them on a permanent trajectory to success. Put it in the comments. Let me know if this makes sense. Any ahas, takeaways, anything that's resonating with you. Would love to hear from you. Again, I want you to be engaged and really participate in this and help you with your business. So this is something that the system will accomplish. It will accomplish that it will help you to actually diagnose the real issue. That's oftentimes the challenging part in your business. And I want you to listen to me very carefully and write this down, because the mismatch is the way they describe the problem, finding clients, and what the real issue is. Lack of systems, not having the authority, not building the authority, not being in front of people, not having a client attraction system, not having a strategy. All of these combined things are giving this end result. But that's the pain that they're having. They don't know this is what the problem is. So in the way you show up with your business, there has to be a system, a diagnosis where you can help them to figure out what the real issue is. With the outcome is then so that you can find more clients. Does this make sense? Put in the chat. Put a yes in the chat. Clients need to feel that you deeply understand them. Jay and I actually had a conversation about this. There's a lot you want to say. There's what they're interested in. And then there is this piece of relevance in the middle. That's really all that they are interested in. Because what you want to do is you want to vomit your knowledge. It's a term that I've created. It's called the knowledge vomit because you've done this for a long time. You have a lot of experience. You see somebody's problem. You're just going to vomit your entire solution on them. All the 10, 20 years you've been doing this, and there they are completely overwhelmed. And they go, yeah, there's something about this person, but this was a little bit too much. I don't even know where I start. This is way too confusing. So instead, what are you the authority in? What are you the authority in? That's why we build signature systems. So these are some examples of systems that we've built. You know, we've called things formulas, wheels, triangles, methods. So everyone that we help build their signature system has a graphic that demonstrates what the system is, and it's all broken down into what this client transformation is, because the steps are the client transformation. An authority, when you are the authority, you know how to diagnose the problem. That's how they come to you. When you go to the doctor says, where does it hurt? Or what seems to be the problem? Then you say, I think it's my sciatica, but my knee also hurts. And then the doctor will give you a diagnosis and say, it is the knee that's causing the problem in the hip, and it's not the sciatica. And there you are, you have your diagnosis of the problem. But the patient came in with pain, and now they know. So that's what you do as an authority. You were the doctor for the problems. But if you tell them something that is way over their head, pardon me, so if the doctor would say something like, it's the way, the tissue hits the whatever and the muscle and the thing, and it goes all technical on you or medical, it's going to go over your head. And very much our clients are like that. They don't want to know all these details. They just want to know from you that you're the boss here, that you're authority, and you know how to diagnose this problem. Authorities have proprietary methods. Pilates is a man who was a dancer who got injured. And then he didn't like any of the recovery methods, so he developed Pilates. That's his actual name. So a lot of these systems are built after a person. That is, everybody who makes multiple sales and is an authority has a proprietary method. It's just two. Authorities can provide client success journeys, clearly defined success journeys, but one slice at a time. Make the pain go away. Have him have a first result. Have him understand that there's a result that comes after that. Have them understand there's a result that comes after that, so that they know that they're progressing through the journey. That's very powerful for them, because then they say, oh, yay, I've completed 2 steps. Now I'm at step number 3, and they keep going. And what does the benefit for you? You sell more more often, and to more people, because you have more different entry points. So here's what I see. I see people like you investing in chasing trends and micro programs, getting sidetracked with other things that you can offer, not being able to put the offer cohesively together because there's so much you can and want to do. You have a program maybe that you created, but it's not selling. You keep changing how you offer your services and what you offer, which nothing causes more confusion more than that, other than the clarity on that. And this is probably true for all of you. You're not serving enough people, not making the impact, not living up to your potential, and not making the revenue. Let me know in the chat or write it down. Where are you at? We talked about, did you come here to be mediocre? Or did we talk about excellence and making that impact? Because if you're not helping enough people, then you're not living up to the potential. And my goal for you is for you to live up to your potential. And your prospects don't know how freaking fabulous you are. Because if you're here, you're fabulous by nature. Because you're taking the time to actually learn something and then hopefully start implementing. So you probably, like many of my clients, just come to me and says, can we just put this together once and for all so that I can explain what I do properly? So do you want to stop this confusion, the scattering, wasting time, being overlooked, the lack of the clear vision, the lack of time, the desire to grow smarter? These are actually, there's a word cloud. These are from all the things that my clients are telling me. You know, I want to reach my income targets. I want concrete language. I need inspiration. I need a differentiation factor. That's probably you. What of these can you relate to? So there is a blueprint.
Yeah. I'm Jen. I'm the founder and creative director of Drawing from the Right. Before we met Beate, we were struggling with just having a very strong and concise message around what our product offering really was. We felt like we did, a lot of things without a full description of what it was that we really did. By using Beate's process and framework, we were able to really sort of connect and dive deep into all of these sort of convergent ideas and bring them together in a very concise and really creative way that we both really gelled at quickly, or we gelled upon really quickly. So right now where we are is we have an incredibly strong and powerful framework that is, I think, really exciting. All I want to do is work on this and not do any of my work that I really need to do. But we have a very strong product offering and vision for how to bring that to life. So I would absolutely recommend working with Beate and using her process and methodology to streamline the work product that you have and to bring that to a larger audience.
All right. Is it okay if I just am off the microphone and not just use this microphone from the computer? Can you still hear me well?
Hi.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jay. Okay, wonderful. So here's the question. I mean, who would want to be able to say something like this about their business? To be excited and to build the system. And after we built her system, she went out and she immediately signed a client, a big client. And then she was hesitant on whether or not she should be going out for more clients because it's such a large client that she had brought on. So it really is about, do you want this? Do you want to have a clear, defined system, the authority that helps you to go out there and tell people why you are the authority on the subject? So let's talk about, why do you need a system and which problem does it actually solve? So number one, this is an example. You need a system to help your clients to get a diagnosis. Where's the issue? On whether you are in life coaching, in business coaching, in financial, wherever you are, there always has to be a diagnosis. So when people say, let's have virtual coffee, or let's hop on a phone and chat, I don't believe that that is as effective as if you have a diagnosis, right? You need a system because when you fix the main issue, you are seeding previous future sales. So if I have done this piece for you and you know this piece comes next, you already know this piece comes next. So you're not going to be surprised. Oh my God, there's another thing to sell. But I mean, isn't it like when you have a company and you like their stuff and then you go out and you like their one product that you're more inclined to go back and buy the next product from them because you loved what they've done. I have a company like Outdoor Tech where I bought my headsets and then I bought all kinds of things from them. So it's not that I was surprised. So I went back to them. I said, I can't believe you're offering me other products. I willingly went back to get more stuff because I love what they stand for. That's the system. And you're promising a clear outcome for each one of the phases. So if I have, these 4 pieces, and in these 4 pieces, I have a clearly defined outcome, I can promise that when you complete this piece, you will have this. And when you complete this piece, you will have this. And I can drive that journey forward. And I can sell more phases to more people and I can charge more because now you don't have to say, well, they really need all these different things, but I don't think they're going to have more than $10,000 for that or $50,000 for that. Now you can say, you know what, let's do this piece first, get you some results, and then we move on to the next thing. How does that sound? You would want that. I want that. It's like you promise me that you are helping me get results. I'll be happy to pay you more money, but I need to see results. Step number 5, you want to improve the client experience, lifetime value, and retention. And I know a lot of times especially with heart-centered coaches, some of this language is kind of nerve-wracking because it feels very strategic and very marketing oriented. But these are terms as a business owner that we just need to understand and work with. You also want to start selling at higher fees right away and increase your closing rate. And the closing rate comes from what? It comes from you knowing that this piece solves this problem, so you can make that promise, and it's a repeatable process to achieve a particular outcome. That is the power of a system. This is Jessica. Jessica is an artist, a dancer, and a data scientist. She is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my entire life. When she came to me, she says, I need you to help me to create a system so I can offer a framework for ethical AI for luxury brand search engines. Now, if that doesn't blow your head off, it certainly did mine. I'm like, sure. I didn't need to understand the language that she used for her clients, but I needed to understand how we needed to formulate that language so clients that did not have this deep subject matter expertise could understand what they would get. And when we did that, she closed a $50,000 deal in 7 days. Boom, mic drop. This is Pat Roquet. Pat and I created her system. Within a month, she closed freaking Amazon as a client. And then she brought me in to help her to facilitate the strategic piece of the job. And Reckitt is the maker of Lysol. It's like a top, it's like a top 50 company, Fortune 50 company worldwide. Same thing, closed the deal, and then brought me in, helped her with some of the strategic pieces. Phenomenal. And like within a month. So we do this by offering a mastermind. It's an 8-week mastermind. It's the Signature Growth System Mastermind. So let's talk about what the options are for you. Number 1, there's going to be some of you that may have listened to this and said, I got it. I know where to start. I can do this on my own. You are investing time. and you are investing money because you should be signing jobs and working with clients, not figuring this out. But if you want to figure this out, the information, I mean, everybody can. What's that one quote from one of the my colleagues? She says, everything is figure outable. Everything is figure outable. It's just what do you value more, time or money? How urgent is this for you? Jay says, you're amazing. Everyone should be a client of hers. That's it. You're hired, Jay. Option number 2, we do this together in a done with you program. And that is that signature growth system. Again, I told you who this works for. It literally works for every single service provider. Here's another testimonial. Catapult. They walked out. They closed a $100,000 job in 24 hours. They still to this day hold the record in implementation. Now, I want you to think about what that would look like for you. If you could send me a testimonial like this, what would that change? Think about that. You pay your bills with ease. Do that capital investment, down payment on a house, vacation, private school, supporting causes that are meaningful for you. Proving it to yourself that you are right. How powerful is that? When you're finally able to do that. When I had that money come into my bank account, those millions, and I looked at my brokerage account, let me tell you, that was a powerful moment. That was the moment where I'm like, it was all worth it. You would have told me that it would take me 13 years to get to this moment. I would have said, duh, it's a lot of work. But if you asked me at that point, was the 13 years I put in worth it to get to that point? Absolutely. You don't have to spend 13 years on this because I already figured out the blueprint. The question is, are you ready to participate? If you want to reach a larger audience, you want to build that authority, you want to be out there. So here is another wonderful testimony.
My name is Tammy Valletta Wells, and I'm a creative strategist who owns a branding and marketing firm in Seattle, Washington, and we have about 30 years of experience in the aesthetic medical space.
No.
I'm a creative strategist who owns a branding and marketing firm in Seattle, Washington, and we have about 30 years of experience in the aesthetic medical space. Pinpoint has developed an agency approach that is designed to help their practices attract more patients, to get them to amplify that branding or that messaging into the market, and then to adapt that branding and marketing as the market changes. Today, Beati helped me as a business owner remove the silos from my business model. I had felt for years that we had been selling things in little buckets, and she helped us to connect the dots so that we can understand how everything fits together, systemize those fits into something that is more tangible and easier to sell and to create revenue from. I feel though like I have an action plan to go back to the office to tinker with this until it feels 100% perfect. It's like 98% there, and then work with my team to really strategize how to roll this out to make some effective change for our company.
So, so this is really the part that makes me so happy and lights me up, is when I hear my clients go out and really do what they set out to do. I mean, that's what it's about. Our company's mission is designed to be connected to how much impact you make. It's in our mission statement that we are measured by how much impact we make our clients make. So if you don't make an impact, I'm not doing my job. And we did this on purpose. We want everybody on this team to be committed to helping you to make that impact. Because There's a lot of people that need help out there. So this might be the very last training program you'll ever need to do. And it's time to stop wasting time with squirrels and really focus on following a clear path, a journey that gets you to where you need to go. So here's what we are going to be eliminating. General terms like coach, consultant, sounding blah. I'm a financial consultant helping people to plan their retirement. Boring. Knowledge vomiting. Let me give you everything I have in 3 seconds. Not knowing how to scale. I see people in an infinity loop all the time. Not having a clear client transformation journey with outcomes. Not knowing what to offer next. And guessing what your client needs. All of these things we can get rid of just by you participating in this mastermind. This is right if you want to grow, scale your business, set yourself up potentially for an equity event. Start to take yourself out of the day-to-day, have your own signature system, have a clear differentiation factor, impact more clients. You do not want another online program. I know it's not an online program. It is a done with you program. We are live. So does this work for you? So I'm going to give you an example. This is an interesting piece. And I see this quite frequently. So I met this gentleman who was on my podcast, and he literally is so good in what he does. He helps companies, large companies, to figure out their pricing. And when he's fixed their pricing, the actual price that's on the products or their services, they oftentimes literally generate millions in revenue, like right away. His average is a 30% increase in sales results. It's nuts if the client hires him. So when I was watching him, I hear him talk, and there is so much frustration in how he approaches his sale, because to him, he's like incredulous that they don't know what he knows, because the client thinks it's something else that's broken in the sales process. They don't have awareness that it's the pricing itself that's broken. So they don't hire him. But he has these results. So he constantly is hitting his head against the wall. So I said to him, if you don't build a system where you help them with the transformation journey until you have gotten them to the point where they say, well, now it's time to look at the pricing, and then have this piece, if you lead with that, you're not going to get the kind of clients you need. And his closing rate is terrible, even though he's in the 1%. I did the calculation on this. I think this is going to cost him, honestly, I think this is going to cost him $2 to $3 million a year. That's insane. Just because he is so stuck in his way, believing that the thing that he's trying to do, that we know does not work, that he needs to continue to do, it makes no sense. So I'm not here to convince you, just so we get this out of the way. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to tell you what your options are, and then you decide. Because if you want to stop spinning your wheels and you want to get paid what you are worth, let's get you on a call with one of our advisors, our business growth advisors. So type in the word authority or advisor. As I said earlier, I knew it was a word with an A, in the chat, and then we'll reach out. If you prefer to, just go and book the call yourself right away, just go here to Elite Growth Authority. Oh, hold on, it's a typo in there. Elite Growth Authority. Here we go. And book the call right now. So it's the second, Elite Growth Authority. We already paid for our people. They're here to help. It's a 15-20 minute call. And in that call, we'll help you to figure out, what is it that you need to do next? Where is the missing link? And to check out if this is right for you or not, if you're ready. My guarantee for the signature growth system is very straightforward. If you show up, you do the work, I'll guarantee that you will have your system. I will not give up. We had a client that we did the system for, and then we had one positioning word that didn't land, and he said, Beate, I need to come back in. We need to fix that. They came in here and we fixed it, right? So I'm here for you to fix, to work on this with you until it fits and you got your signature growth system. So book that authority gap diagnosis call on elitegrowthauthority.com right now. So question, I'm going to open it for questions. If anybody has questions, they can come up. I want to also see, Abby, do you want to talk about this call? I'm going to give you, Abby, you can jump in and talk if you want about this, because Abby's our growth advisor. He can talk about what to expect in the call. Are you available right now?
Hello?
Okay, good.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. So yeah, again, in this call, what we're gonna go over is like what you have been doing to get to the clients that you wanted to get to, and what has basically been like what has worked and what hasn't worked. And what we're gonna focus on is basically help you do more of what did work and find out other strategies and put systems in place to find more ways so that you can stand in front of like more opportunities. Because a lot of the times what we see our clients struggle with is they look at the revenue, they look at their like amount of clients that they have, and they're like, okay, I don't have enough clients, or I don't have enough revenue, right? And basically they're spending most of the times doing tasks and activities that is not directly putting money in their bank, and because of which they can work all day, but again, if they're not doing revenue producing activities, or even if they're doing revenue producing activities, and if they're not doing it in the most efficient way possible using the right systems, what ends up happening is you might have a great product, but yeah, a great product is only a great product to you unless more people hear about it and then they see like what the possibilities are. And once they are able to see the possibilities, and then they are able to see the changes in their own lives and in their own businesses because of your products and services, that's when you have like more word of mouth happen and you're able to sustainably grow. So that's exactly what we'll be uncovering over here in this call, how we are able to again help you find more clarity, help you reach the goals that you've set for yourself even through this recession. All right.
Wonderful.
That's
Yeah,
basically it.
no, that's the key. I mean, I said it before, I'm going to say it again, is that there really is an absolute urgency right now with this, for you to get this figured out, because there's a lot of people that are looking for jobs, and the lowest hanging fruit clearly is becoming a consultant or an expert. Session, I'm going to have one more person. I want to share with you what she said.
Hello, I am Julie Brain Lady Anderson, and I just finished 2 amazing sessions with Beate, the growth architect. Let me tell you, what we managed to accomplish in that time was crazy. She had helped me revamp even my introduction, because I am no longer just the brain lady, but I am the brain lady that presents everything that we do being rooted in science. And to achieve the best, highest performing brains, it's not wishful thinking. It is not woo-woo. This is the science of optimizing your brains, and all that optimizing the brain, all those fancy things we can, Beate helped me with. So I think anybody should do this, really. The benefit of what we have, when you see the mural that the mural pages that she has with us, I mean, there's so many brainstorms that we came up with. Our brains were on fire. And she was the catalyst for that. So I've got a lot of homework to do. I came out with 21 programs, if you will, lots of different powerful techniques or powerful programs that I'll be able to implement in bringing a higher level and really communicating well to my clients what it is I do and the value of bringing me in and working with them. And that's the value of what Beate does for you when you work with her. So if you need systems, formulas, brainstorming, innovative thinking, Beate is your gal.
Yes, so that is Julie, absolutely phenomenal, a phenomenally smart woman. Ever since she's really taken off and closed quite a few deals and is doing a lot of speaking. So anyway, so this is it for me. I thank you all so much for being here and for watching, and I'll see you again next time. We're here to help. Again, go to elitegrowthauthority.com and schedule your diagnosis so we can help you figure out what that very next best step is in your business to build your authority, to create your signature system so that you can grow your business and scale your impact. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.